Welcome, everyone. Hey, I want to welcome you all to the first official Lions Nation Unite Town Hall. I'm joined by most of our LNU contributors. You're all good up, man, and we're here to talk about the second half of this Lions season. But I want to remember this. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, please visit LionNationUnite.com, and you'll see regular posts there from all our contributors that are here. And they're all verified and on the site. Now, to start out, how about each of you take an opportunity to introduce yourselves and tell the viewers where they can find you?
Yeah, I'll start. Should we just go around in order?
Yeah, let's go on around.
My name's Ryan. I'm from WR Odell Lions UK, over here covering the United Kingdom and part of Europe. There's 6 or 7 members of us. You can find us on YouTube at WR Odell Lions UK, ROTL_UK. On Twitter, we've also got Instagram, rotl.uk, and we've got a Facebook group, Detroit Lions UK World Pride Worldwide. And we're trying to get everyone from the UK and Europe. We're covering everything from our side of the pond, and you all take care of it over there, and then we come together.
Jim, you up?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Jim Bordeaux here, Detroit Lions on the Prowl. You can find us at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. It's our YouTube channel. We have Instagram as well, and Twitter and Facebook groups, all that stuff. I'm just amazed at the panel. I'm like, wow. It's like the all-star game here.
What's up? What's up? It's your boy Rad out here in Rib City, Portland, Oregon, repping them Detroit Lions. You already know. But I originated in Pontiac, Michigan, back there in 1984, that good year, the year of the real ones. But you can find me at Rad_LSS. I'm representing Last Second Sports. It's a panel of 4 over there on Last Second Sports, but I'm the only Lions fan repping us hard, no matter what, you know. But you can catch me on all the social medias. Also on the Lions Nation Unite app, baby. Come tap in with us.
I am Detroit Lions Talk Micro Mike, also known as Micro Mike, also known as this guy that is wearing pants on it. Thank you very much, Everything King. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find me on chatsports.com, chatsports.com, where we bring all NFL teams together.
All right. What up, though? It's your man, Kurt Steele. I'm from Detroit Lions on the Pro. You can find me over there. And on the Die Hard Den over on Fan Media Network, I do the Detroit Lions fan show over there. So you can find me in both places. I'm on Twitter at Curtis Steele 14, or you definitely can find me on TikTok at Kurt Steele 14, or the Detroit Lions on the Pro TikTok channel.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Jay from Let's Talk Lions. You guys can find me on YouTube, Let's Talk Lions, Instagram, same thing, Twitter, same thing.
Hey, what's up, King?
And I'm Everything King. I'm the old guy. I'm the old guy of the bunch. You can find me on YouTube at Everything King. I'm on Twitter at Everything King. Also on Instagram at IamKing77.
Hey, you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you joining. And before we even get started, I want to make sure, because this is Military Month for us, this is our salute to service. And I want to say to Mike and Kurt, I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Appreciate your service for our nation. And I did want to ask you to, and I'll start with you, Kurt, just to, let me know kind of what does that mean for you? I mean, just to be able to serve our country, and then also the expectations that you want from us as people that you're protecting, and that you put your time and your effort into. What can we do for you and also returning veterans?
All right. Well, spending 26 years in the Army was just a great thing. You started out as a job, but it ended up as a career. Everyone can't be a lifer. I was a lifer. I spent a whole 26 years and 17 days, because you can't forget the 17 days serving this great country of ours. Just support. Thank you for your support. A kind word. When you see us, veterans, and the one group that I always, as near and dear to my heart, is the Vietnam vets. If you see a Vietnam vet, go out of your way to think of Vietnam vet. They did not receive the proper welcomes back. They got a bunch of people calling them warmongers and the hate, but they were just doing their job and serving their country. So for me, if you do Kurt Steele a favor, think of a Vietnam vet. I'll go out of my way to do that myself. Living here in North Carolina, we're around a lot of military veterans, especially a lot of Vietnam vets. I go out of my way to thank them all the time. But thank a veteran, but take an extra special moment to thank a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah, I can't agree with that better. I mean, that's exactly the hashtag facts right there. My dad did 2 tours in Vietnam as a helicopter gunner, and when he got home, he wasn't getting the support like you would expect. Same with the VA. So, hey, when there's issues, if you see veterans out there, always inform them to go to the VA. You can get help, medication. I think that's the number one goal. And, say thank you for your service, and that's all we need. Put a smile on a face. We love this country, and it was a great time doing so.
Yep, I know. I appreciate that, and I want to make sure I don't forget our guy Michael Banks, true diehard Lion fan, and someone that has been great getting to know as a person over the years, just like I've gotten to know many of you. I will like to say I want to welcome everyone who has joined. I want to thank all of you who are watching. I want you to keep any questions and comments coming during our talk here, and then hit the like button if you want to, and if we'd like for you to do that. And subscribe to our channel. We have a lot planned for this channel, and we don't want you to miss that for this upcoming year and years to come. Now, I know we got the panel here, and it's more than just introducing ourselves. This is us basically breaking down and dissecting the Lions a little bit. I won't try and play moderator, so we'll make sure anytime we can get in here, we can ask all the pertinent questions, because I want us to be transparent. I want us to be true, and at the same time, it's not about badgering. It's not about beating them down. But, we want to provide that truth serum that sometimes is missing when it comes to it. But I've learned that in talking to those that are closest to this and those that are not paid to do this, other than doing it out of passion, they have some of the most in-depth, most thoughtful pieces that they break down. So I have to say, even as a former player, I used to always think, oh, these people are sitting on the side and they don't know much. But I've learned that they know a lot more than I think we give those of you that are sitting on this panel and those that are also chiming in credit for. So to that, I want to say thank you. But we'll start with this. So my first question out of the gate, and I want to throw out to the panel, is Jared Goff. That was coming. Is he the answer now and in the future? People are trying to decide whether or not Jared Goff is the answer. I know there's some talk and some movement that's taking place, but right now I'm just curious to see what the panel thinks.
I'll go. I don't know yet. I can't truly give him a grade just because the offensive line has been banged up. We lost our all-pro center. I mean, he's just now getting his blind side back, Taylor Decker. So I'm going to cut him a break on that. And then the receiving core, they're not really getting much separation. So I can't really give my full assessment on him just because he ain't got that many pieces around him, and that offensive line is key because he has to be protected in order to get his throws off him. So I'm gonna wait till next year to fully get my grade. I don't think he's playing good, to be honest with you, but I can't really put it all on him at this point. And
right,
we just need to see when Taylor Decker. I'm gonna get a good look when Taylor Decker gets back. When he got his true blind side blocking for him, then I'm gonna start grading him a little harder.
But right now, man, he's the guy because we ain't got no other guys. We're talking about Tim Boyle and David Blau right now, man. So it is what it is right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's the future quarterback for this team, but he's going to be on this team this year and next year. Why? Because the cap and the financial ramifications suggest it will. The Lions are not going to just go ahead and release a guy, $30 million cap hit. But do I see him being the legitimate heir apparent to Matthew Stafford, the guy that's going to bring Detroit to the playoffs and to a Super Bowl? No. I don't see it.
And I want to say this before Jim jumps in, because Jim, I know everybody's waiting to hear your part. I want to make sure we let Jay. I want you to go last. I want you to wrap us up at the end. I want we go with Kurt, then let's go Jay, then let's go Ryan, and then let's go King.
Okay. All right. So for me, I would have to say for Jared Goff, there's a trust issue there. He has a trust issue with the targets he has on his team. Now, I have a friend of mine who's a huge Rams fan, and once he trusts a guy, he will definitely throw the ball to him. I don't think he trusts that guys that he has on the team right now. If you see his progressions, he looks at this wide open receivers. he looks for his first look or maybe a second look, and that's just about it. So if it's not in his wheelhouse or his trust factor, he's not going to throw the ball to the player. That's why TJ Hockenson has a whole bunch of catches for a little bit of yards, because he's only throwing the 6 to 7 yard check down where he's only trusting TJ Hockenson or maybe one of the running backs coming out of the backfield. And to the detriment, there have been a lot of drop passes in Detroit this year. And I'm not saying that Jared Goff is the fault for all of those, but some of those, but he does as a trust factor right now with Jared Goff. He doesn't trust his targets. And when you get that, you're going to have a bunch of indecisions back there in the backfield.
Yeah, I like that, Kurt. I think for me coming into this year, I was pretty big on Goff. That was something that I was excited about, losing Stafford and watching him move on. There was excitement saying, all right, here's a former first round pick. Here's a guy who's gone to the Super Bowl, has more playoff wins than Stafford. I'm just saying. But you kind of look at it, and I expected more from Goff. But as everybody has said at this point, wide receiver wise, there's no true wide receiver 1. Shoot, there's no wide receiver 2 that's really stepping up. And so who does he have? Kurt, you nailed it. It's Hockenson or a running back, and that's not enough to get, as Rad said, that real glimpse, that full glimpse of, is he the future or not? He's not acting like it at the moment, but I think there's still hope.
I'll jump in. I'm part of I believe that he was a byproduct of the Stafford trade. We don't get that capital for Stafford unless we take on all that extra money. Like, we have to take him, otherwise it doesn't happen. I agree. It's a confidence issue. He doesn't feel the blitz well. His blind's banged up and he's checking down. We call him Mr. Check Down. He's looking at these 3 to 6 kind of like yards. And right now he's just worried about turning the ball over. Once the confidence comes there, he might be able to look downfield. But for right now, he's just that body that's carrying us through the season. The backups, they're backups for a reason. They ain't it. We saw Blau fumble twice on one drive. For right now and this year, we'll settle with Goff. And that's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. But for right now, where we are, I feel good about the rebuild. And he's doing what we need him to do.
Yeah, we called him Check Down Charlie on Detroit Lions Pro.
We do.
I'm probably sure y'all understand by now how I feel about Jared Goff. I'm not gonna hold no punches, man. The guy was sent here for a reason. He took the Rams to the Super Bowl and they scored 3 points. It happened for a reason. This is the Detroit Lions. It's a tough franchise. The pressure of being a Detroit Lions quarterback is good for Jared Goff. Jared Goff does not respond well to pressure situations. So, is he the guy for the future? Absolutely not. Is he the guy right now? We kind of don't have a choice. We're just going to be stuck until we decide to move on or to bring somebody in here. And that's just how I feel about the situation.
Okay, well,
Hey, Jim,
you want me to go or you want to wait?
So, Jim, I gave you an out there because I know that you wanted to, go in and throw that last uppercut and then that left hook. So there you go.
My chance. All right, we got a quarterback playing scared. We have a quarterback that doesn't want to make mistakes, so he won't take any chances. This is really hurting our team. Everybody can load up 9 people in the box, stop the run, stop everything else that we're trying to do. And the bad part is we don't really have a backup. Boyle is got a good arm, but he's inaccurate. I don't think Blau's the answer either. So Mike had a great point. There's nobody else in the cupboard, so we got to stick with this guy. I don't believe in Jared Goff. I don't. I don't think he's the future. And I see why Dan Campbell wants to spend more time with the quarterback position, because is there anything he can do to help him out and help him to throw the ball downfield? He's basically telling him, throw the ball downfield, take a shot, do something. But Goff is so afraid of throwing an interception or making a mistake. I think that's what he does out there. His vision is not good. He checks down all the time. Right now it's a difficult situation, but you got to ask the question in my mind, are we trying to, I'm not saying be bad on purpose, but this roster and the injuries and everything, looks like we're looking at the number 1 pick.
There we go, looking for the draft pick. That's always one of the questions that we look for. Let's take an opportunity to go and And I know we got a lot of questions that came in. I want to take a couple of those. We're going to throw a couple of them up there. And anyone who wants to take a jump in and take that first question.
Oh, I'll take that. Could it help? Not sure who you bring in here right now with the way that Goff's playing that anything will help. Now, it may help because of the fact that he's a former target, he might trust him more. However, like Jim said, he's playing scared. You look at, and to his detriment, Anthony Lynn has not been complimentary of him in his pressers, saying he turns the ball over too much. His confidence is already shaken, and when you have your offensive coordinator really calling you out, throwing you under the bus, or your head coach saying you need to step it up more, your confidence is going to be shaken. So to me, it doesn't matter who you bring in here. You could bring in any wide receiver right now, and it just wouldn't be a really good fit right now because he's not playing well. I mean, you played in the league. I've said this before. You could bring Calvin Johnson in his prime back. It wouldn't help right now just because of the way that Jared Goff's playing.
There's
all
something
for bringing
that
in talent too.
Go ahead, Mike.
Said I'm all in for bringing in talent. His contract's cheap, $1 million. He's 26 years old. Played with the Rams for 3 years under Jared Goff. So hey, why not throw a bone? You never know. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, no big deal.
Yeah, he's a 6'3" wide receiver. Also, though, his contract actually I think is half over, so I think we would get him for maybe $500,000. It's really cheap. I'm agree with Mike. I think we just throw him a bone. I don't see the reason why we don't. I just don't. Why not?
I mean, I'll piggyback off y'all. We need any help at this point, so I would bring him in. But I don't really think it's going to help us too much just because we need a true number one wide receiver just to back defenses up a little bit. Because if we can bring in somebody this offseason like a Devontae Adams who teams have to respect and game plan for, that's instantly going to help our run game because you can't load up the box. And that's instantly going to help our tight end, Hockenson, so teams aren't just he's not that focal point that teams have to worry about. So somebody like Reynolds, he's not going to help us. But at this point, I just want to bring in anybody. We need a true number one that defenses are going to respect because that's going to completely jolt our offense if we can get a guy in here that somebody has to respect.
Yeah, King looked like he got something he want to say.
I have nothing.
You got nothing.
At this point, I'll bring in a janitor if Jared Goff decides to throw to him.
Oh, come on now.
I mean, it's just where I'm at right now. I just want to see Jared Goff.
We need Herbert Moore to scoot up.
Go ahead, King.
Yeah.
Let me throw this in, right? So I'm looking and I'm listening. And I'm going to throw in that perspective of what I see. Now, this was the first time in a while that I'd seen this in a quarterback because we'd had Stafford. And, Stafford always just seemed kind of be even killed, whether you like him or not. But for the first time I saw Jared Goff, I mean, he did have that deer in the headlight stare that I've seen in other quarterbacks. But unfortunately, a lot of that stare came from quarterbacks that I saw who were coming in to relieve the starter. And it looked like they were just being thrown into something they weren't ready for. And you want to find that help, whether it be in the running game, whether it be from your OC, or whether it be from a receiver to bail you out and get you to get your confidence. So how often have we seen it where a quarterback is struggling and then all of a sudden he needs that receiver to make that impossible play or to go up and make something happen. And he knows that all of a sudden that confidence starts to come back and they come back and go, hey, I don't even need you to be accurate. That's what we used to say to some of our quarterbacks. I just need you to get it near me. Just get the ball off. Don't take a sack. Find me. I'll make it my business to go make the catch. Because he doesn't have that, I don't know if he's felt that in the past, the abandonment and the isolation. I can't imagine what that feels like to say, you know what, I want to make something happen. And I think he's got so many things right now that he's having to process that is not focusing on reads and making them right. I think it's all about not making mistakes. It's not causing turnovers. It's about, I hope this ball doesn't get away from me. I hope this ball doesn't get picked. I don't see the confidence that is coming out of that position. And in turn, I'm not going to say he's a bad quarterback. I just think he's in a bad spot. Regardless of what you want to think of him as a quarterback, I just think the man's in a bad spot. And how does he get out of it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can bring a lot of players, but like you said, if your confidence is shaken, man, you're gonna need people every time you throw in the ball to say, you know what, I'm Superman. I'm gonna make a play for you.
Okay, I got a question for you, Herm, because I want to see your perspective, because you played the position at a high level. Prime Herbert Moore, you about to hit the free agent market, or you about to be traded to the quarterback situation that we have right now in Detroit. What are your thoughts saying, I gotta go, I'm going to play with this guy, or do I want to sign a contract to play with this quarterback, or the situation in Detroit right now, what they have at quarterback? What are your thoughts as that wide receiver?
It depends on the spot when you catch me. If I'm coming in and I'm young in my career, I'm looking at it as an opportunity to come in and take that number one. I'm looking at it as an opportunity to come in and be the guy, because if you are number one, if you truly are a number one receiver, you carry such high swag. You really don't care about the coverage. You really don't care about the one-on-one. If anything, I'm looking to see who the defensive coordinator is, because that's the only way you're going to stop me. You got to put a scheme in place. So when you channel that type of energy and you get me coming in, I'm coming to Detroit. Now, if I've had success and I expect to have that success continuing because I got somewhere I'm trying to be in the game, whether it be at championships or I've already tasted that postseason play, or I've been at the top of that pinnacle or in that circle or conversation, I'm not going to do it to take a step back, because I'm probably either getting paid where I'm at, or if I'm being released, there should be some other buyers. Now, if I'm at the end of my career, it's a money grab. Detroit becomes an easy money grab, because at this point, they will take whatever they can get, because especially if I have a marketable name, I know how this organization works, and I think we've seen it. They also want to sell jerseys. They want to sell fans. They want to sell tickets. They want to sell some things in terms of TV, much watched TV. But, when they talked about Odell Beckham, I thought that was what he really brought. And if he's a guy that would come here, it would be for that reason, more so than anything, before he would springboard himself somewhere else. Because what do you have to lose at that point? You just need some rocks thrown your way. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on which stage you're catching me at. And I'm being very transparent. It's just I wouldn't see this as an attractive piece to me at where I was in my career when I was chasing championships and really, really wanting, after 1991, my rookie season, going one game from the Super Bowl. Is no way I'm going to go somewhere and just say, hey, this team is not going anywhere. So I think I'm going to go hang my hat there when I know they need more pieces.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that answer. That's what I was looking for, because you got a lot of fans that were like, we need to get OBJ. I'm looking at them like, Odell Beckham's trying to win it. He's trying to go to a contender, and I don't think Detroit was really on his radar. Just to be honest with you, everyone.
Right. You were talking about that, so I'll throw this out to the panel, and those of you who haven't chimed in, feel free to jump in on this one. I mean, this offense has now started to transition again. There's a lot of things. There's some players that are coming back. We talked about Taylor Decker coming back. But what does this offense look like now that you got Darren Fells, who he's gone? You're waiving Kennedy, which some people are going to go, who cares? And then the fact that they weren't able to pick up a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. What does that mean for this offense now? What does it mean in terms of what the expectation should be? We've already started hearing a little bit about the quarterbacking position. I mean, is it just chaos?
Run the ball.
That's the message.
Run the ball. Okay.
Run the ball.
Hand it off.
That's the playbook, man. Just I'm gonna get me a pen and write it down and just turn it around and say, run the ball.
This is the slogan. Hand it off, Goff. There you go.
Or it's Goffle. You don't want that one.
Oh, hey, Chris, if you're listening, I need you to make sure you're getting this down, and don't anyone go over there and start putting these shirts together. Let me do it. Let me put this stuff together. Don't just stop it. Just stop it. We have the ability to do the production here. So keep them coming. We'll make sure we put them in the chat. Make sure you buy them, and we'll even donate some of that stuff. But I don't want to beat them up too hard. But those are pretty good.
I mean, you look at this offense. You got Taylor Decker coming back. You're going to move Penei Sewell over to the right tackle position, where he can roll great out there with Big V. I mean, it's a prime opportunity to run the ball, and then just use your running backs, use DeAndre Swift. You're going to move Amon-Ra St. Brown out to the expert position where you're going to move him out wide. You can move DeAndre Swift into the slot, or you can move you can push out TJ Hockenson into the slot. So you can open up the playbook, but I think it starts with the running game. We don't have an identity on this offense. So establish the run. We have good running backs, and they can produce. So why not start running the ball? I mean, I'm just saying.
And utilize this young talent. Let's see what this young talent. We got Godwin Igwebuike. He showed a little bit of speed this last game that we played. I'd like to see a little bit more of him. Brock Wright, he's now going to be, looks to be our number 2 tight end. Darren Fells is no longer here. Let's see if he is going to be a tight end that we have on next year. I'm looking at the rest of this games that we have going on as a preseason year. So let's go ahead and see young talent, because it's going to suck.
I've liked Brock Wright for even in preseason. He runs a 4.6 for a tight end. He can block. He's young and inexperienced, but he was a really good tight end at Notre Dame. They only used him for blocking. He can do other things. You just haven't seen it yet. Darren Fells leaving, that was a little bit of a shock to me, but he's a veteran. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else and win. The rest of this offense, I don't think it's going to take that big of a hit. I do like moving Amon-Ra St. Brown out to the Z. I do like him being the second receiver. And there are slot receivers on our team, or that we could use on our team. So I don't see this as being a bad thing. I actually think the offense got better, not worse. Here's why. Getting Taylor Decker back, moving Penei Sewell over there, that fills a big need. Matt Nelson, 34 pressures? That's a lot. We had to shore up that, and I think, Sewell will take care of that spot. They're all really young, but I still think that this is actually an improvement.
I've got to agree with what Mike said. Like, this year now is an audition for people. No one's talking about Khalif Raymond. 6 or 7 years in the league, comes to Detroit. He gets the most targets, the most receptions, and the most yards. He's got lightning speed. The ball's in his hands. It looks like he's got yards after. So he could be a guy that could stick around. Now we can put Swift in the slot, have Jamal Williams in the backfield, get everyone going. We've got Godwin, who looks like a special teams good returner. He's got a bit of speed. Jamar Jefferson. There's young pieces here that we can get them all on the field at the same time. Run the ball, pound the rock. Williams in between the tackles, and you'll get Swift out, making people miss in the open field, and we can find an identity, I think.
And this has been an interesting season for this team, and I know we can boil it down to the players, and I think you try and find that middle ground to say, can the coaching staff make a difference? Can one player elevate where there is a lack of talent? From the quarterback position, we've seen that happen with other QBs. You bring them in, they then will elevate players basically that are not household names into at least efficient players, or those that are utility players that have an effective piece. We have a opportunity now. When we say you have a clear canvas, and I look at this team, and you look at really how it's kind of come unglued. It reminded me a lot of, I just did a thing this past few days with head coach Wayne Fonts, and Lomas Brown and I, we had an opportunity to talk to him about where we were going as a team. And it reminded me of some of the progress that the Lions seem to have made, because we look at the talent that's been kind of in the rear view now. And until we get to this point, and you think of how none of those players are still here. And it's not totally because of injury or because they retired or anything like that. It's just that somehow, some way they've either left, they were, not treated right, negotiations fell through. There's some accountability that has to take place somewhere to say to be at this complete blank canvas almost. I mean, the offensive line, I think that was been put together. I think you guys can chime in and agree, disagree. That was going to be a strength for this team. So Jared Goff was going to have all this time, and he's had the time, but he hasn't been able to hit the guys. We'll say, hey, these guys aren't open. We see the film, and they go, hey, look, they're open. He's missing them. He's throwing them high. He's throwing them low. He's making the wrong read. And now defensively, it seemed like Aaron Glenn had these guys playing at a whole different level. They're trying to hold the fort. They don't have an offense that's keeping the team off the field, and they're having to make sure they have stop after stop after stop. But the offense is not one that's going to score high-powered points. So do you just completely at this point, do we have the time? This is what I want to ask. Hey, Dose, I want to welcome Dose, man. I see that he just joined us. We thought you was going to be MIA, man. We thought maybe you were shopping and going across other teams, man, and just becoming a free agent out here. Glad you were joining us. I know everyone was wondering where you were, but my question, man, you guys, definitely jump in. What now? Where do you go from here? I mean, this isn't a team. I mean, we have talent. I don't want to say I hate when we're at the NFL level. So to say we have zero talent is not fair. But I think to say we're not in a position right now to win at that level. If not, then what do we need? How long is it you think it's going to realistically take? And then depending on, and I'm throwing a couple things out here, so take them at any point that you want. With Coach Campbell, for me to already start hearing, if he goes 0-17, does this person get to keep their job? And should he be given another chance? So where do we go? How long do you think it's going to take? And if he goes 0-17, then what? Take them in any order you want.
Feels like a lot happened there. A couple questions, but I mean,
hey Jay, you know me.
Yeah, throw it out. I love it. Look, man, to look at 0-17, all in all, at this point after the bye, I wanted that win against Philly so bad. Not because I loathe Philadelphia, okay, not because I hate the city and I hate their fans. Not any of those reasons, because I do. Growing up out in Jersey, there's a lot of, we don't like Philly. So I wanted that W for that reason alone. However, I think at this point, now there's a feeling of less pressure, at least for me looking at this team. And that might sound crazy, but when I look at it, there's less pressure because going into that bye week, it was, we got to get the win for the bye, At this point, feels like it's all bets are off. Let's try anything. Let's get as creative as we can. Let's pull anything out of the hat. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, seeing guys like Terrell Williams leaving off the IR. Darren Fells, good riddance. Like, I look at some of these guys, Trey Flowers, he's getting less snaps. We saw that against Philly. All in all, I want to see these younger guys develop for the rest of the year. If we go 0-17, so be it. I'm okay with that. I think that he keeps his job. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
They talked about the game plan, them burying it this last week. The Eagles, I would take this season game plan and flush it down a toilet. This is what I'm looking at, folks. He's going to keep his job, as he should. He was given a terrible situation. We're talking about Dan Campbell here. Didn't have a whole lot of draft picks. The free agents that we had on the team, we didn't have the cap to really go get the biggest guys. And we were talking about Rashad Perryman. He's not the greatest guy on the planet here to go get. And we had a lot of former Patriots on this team that just didn't feel what we want. So we knew this season was going to be terrible. What I'm doing now, I'm going to the college games. I'm doing some scouting. I'm getting prepared for the NFL draft. And what free agents can we pick up that will help build upon? In 2010, we got Nate Burleson and Kyle Vanden Bosch. There were two staples that helped out the young Matthew Stafford to help out the team to kind of build it in the right direction. I think that's what they got to do in free agency. Get himself a stud wide receiver. Doesn't have to be the top guy. Maybe get yourself a linebacker in this draft. We got to get a safety. We just got to get talent on this team and strike gold on the NFL draft. That's how you build your team. Draft, and toilet this season.
Yeah, I don't think that there's no reason why Dan Campbell should be fired if he goes 0-17 with this season. Now, I hear the thing about the talent. Yeah, we can't say we're void of talent. We're not void of talent, but we don't have the top tier talent. You have tiers for a reason. Guys are backup for a reason. Guys are practice squad players for a reason. Guys are undrafted free agents for a reason. You have the talent that we have on this roster. It just isn't developed. You have a lot of inexperience on this roster right now in key positions. Of course, we have some experienced veterans that are on this team, but some of them have been injured. They haven't been playing. You look at Frank Ragnow. He's out for the season. Taylor Decker hasn't played all season. He hasn't played a single snap in a game this season. So you're looking at some of your key veterans were out on this team. You're just going to have to really look at this where we have a lot of players in key positions that don't have a lot of experience. We're going to have some growing pains. Like my man Mike says, and we have that military term, embrace the suck, because it's going to suck for the rest of this year. 0-17 doesn't matter. He's going to keep his job, and we're going to keep going from here because there are a lot of variables that made it difficult for him to win this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
what hurts-
17.
I'm not cool with 0-17. I'm not trying to make history again.
X.
So
No.
I'm not going for that. I think we can get that win on Green Bay. I think week 17, Green Bay can throw us a little, give me win. We still lock down that number 1 pick. Dan Campbell will not be fired if we go 1-16. I'm not going to speak that 0-17 into existence. Now, somebody does have to be held accountable, and I think that's going to end up being like Anthony Lynn, because we're in the bottom tier as far as points being scored, and just off his pure play calling, from me watching film, every time we get inside the 15, he wants to rely on Jared Goff's arm and have him get us the touchdown as opposed to grounding and pounded like our identity is supposed to be. I don't get why he always wants to resort to Jared Goff when we get inside the 15 instead of just handing the ball off to Swift or Williams. Now, offseason moves need to be made. I think we are going to need to bring in some type of top-tier receiver. We're going to need at least a true number 2 receiver, because right now we're playing with a bunch of slots. And like y'all said, I do want to see some young talent get some more snaps. I think Julian his snap count needs to keep upticking. I want to see Barnes get some more play, because I think we know what we have in Reeves Maben. He's a good special teamer, solid backup linebacker. Then keep just developing our DBs. I think our DBs are playing pretty well to be undrafted rookie free agents. I think Jacobs is playing good football. Parker's playing solid. But I do want to see more out of our rookies. I want to get them on the field more. And I think Anthony Lynn will be the one that gets cut if we go 1-16.
I'm
There's
totally
too much
fine
of-
with Anthony Lynn going. Anthony Lynn, for me, at the end of the year can go. Like, we can establish this game. We've got the players now to run the ball, but his play calling at times is super frustrating. Like, he kept calling those screens that were so obvious against Philly, kept getting blown up. Like, he has those true staples, but he's got no backup plan. Like, the plan B is just worrying for me. Like, say, Derek Barnes, he can lead us on PFF, but only play 24% of snaps. We've got to stop playing the likes of Reeves Maben. We know he's not the guy. Barnes could be the guy. AJ Parker, like say Jerry Jacobs, they're holding their own. These kids didn't even get drafted. They're just like here, they packed a bag, came to camp, and they're showing out, and that's really good. And Nelly Fonwu hopefully gets activated at some point because he could be a corner outside. So there's a lot of young, good talent on this, like say Julian Aquara, you got Levi, you got Aleem McNeil. I think the core is the defense that needs the most playing time together, but it's got the most talent, and that's something we need to rely on because they're on the field so much as well.
I just want to remind those that are on to make sure you hit our like button and subscribe to our channel. I did get a question that came up that I wanted to touch on real quick, and I'll just touch on the wide receiver position, but for the most part, we start to look at, this team needs a lot of pieces. We don't know why the running game was ignored, and at times it seems to be a strength and a way to really get the game back in balance. But if I had to really rank these different players by route, especially when we talk about the wide receivers, we had mentioned about Khalif Raymond and about his ability and his speed. He's a guy that you typically want some speed on the inside. I know they had talked about moving Ross St. Brown to the outside. I don't know if he has the size to be an outside threat on a regular basis, but I think if you move him in or you run more of a bunch package, that may give you the ability to take advantage of the guys that aren't quite those 6'3", 6'4" type receivers that you look for that are runners and have that speed on the outside to create all kind of problems. But they're going to have to get creative. I look at Hodge. He's a guy that can definitely make some plays if single up. But again, that's going to be far in between. We've seen the dump off routes. I don't think they're going to go downfield. This is going to be a real possession style team. So I think finding a way to figure out which of the receivers are best in space and then which ones work really well in tight coverage in terms of separation is really the evaluation that has to be done with the group that they have right now. I just don't see them going downfield. I don't see them having a threat. We've seen them teamed up one-on-one. We know the quarterback doesn't look that way all the time, whether it's fear of pressure. But this is a team that has abandoned. I thought the running game looked so promising in the beginning that to all of a sudden have that become really non-existent and it just kind of went away. I thought it helped the passing game in some respects. But right now, I just wanted to, address that one question there. I wanted to open up for the panel, man, and and we have about 20 more minutes left. If there's other questions or topics that you think we should cover, I want us to get an opportunity to get these diverse perspectives from all the members that are here. So I want to open up to the panel to ask some of the questions they may have. And also I'll continue to encourage those to submit some in the chat. And if the panel sees any of those in there they want to really talk about or address, let's do that, because that's what this is for. This is just to have a real candid conversation. And I'm hoping no one's holding back and just saying exactly what you feel. And I just want to get the state of where we are as a team and as a fan base as it comes to the Detroit Lions.
Now, one of the things I see is it's just a revolving door here, and we got to stop that. We need some stability. We're going through a really rough time right now, but we need to stay the course. I think that we need to stop shoving everybody out, especially as a fan base. We turn on people really, really quickly here, and I'm guilty of that just as much as anybody else. But, in the coaching staff and all that stuff, let's give them some time. Even if they go 0-17, I would say just stay the course and let's let them build something.
Yeah. Jim, hey, I'm with you there. First off, I just want to say, man, this is a crazy panel. Like, I'm hopping here looking at the people around. I'm like, this is sweet. So it's good to see you, all you guys here, man. H-Man, it's always good to see you. I just wanted to touch on a lot of, I missed a lot of stuff, obviously, with the receiver position. But, I think what I've seen personally in these last couple of games, and I won't spoil nothing for, videos I'm trying to get planned. But when I'm looking at these last 3 games in particular, I look at this last game against Philly, and I see a run game really struggle. Obviously, penalties, things like that, they just keep showing up. And I'm seeing missed blocks. But I'm also seeing defenses play us differently. They're sliding guys into the box. Safeties are consistently sitting in the box. And I think what I'm seeing from this offense is I'm seeing a lot of lack of trust to our guys to win one-on-ones. And I've seen these last couple of weeks where the Lions are designing things to try to just decoy and run off to just say, okay, hit Hawk here. We're not even looking for guys deep at this point. Part of that's protection. Part of that's maybe Goff's trust in these receivers and their ability to get open. And I think that's why the point that H-Man brought up of bringing St. Brown and pushing him to the outside is because that's a place where it seems like he has trust. He trusts St. Brown to win his one-on-ones. When Cephas went down, look at the production from our outside receivers since Cephas went down. It's just fallen flat. We have had no production aside from Khalif here and there. He gets some flashes. So our offense has become more decoy, more screens, rely on guys to blocks. And we've seen these last couple weeks, in my opinion, guys like Kadero Hodge dropping passes. I'm seeing Benson dropping passes when we're trying to hit him one-on-one. I think that's why we're seeing the shuffling of Allison gets in, Benson gets in, Hodge gets in, and we don't know who to play every single week. So I think that's why we're going to see more of the St. Brown outside and just be like, hey, you've done it before. He trusts you. See if you can get open. Because maybe then we could just start force one-on-ones like, Goff, just go there. Just go there and trust that he gets open. Because right now we don't trust Hodge. You don't trust Benson. You don't trust these guys. And hopefully we can get some of these shots where these defense at least backs off. Because right now they're just sliding guys into the box and hurting our run game. And what we've seen is the 2 games the run game has got shut down, we've gotten blown out. Cincy and Philly, they took away the run game, and it's been terrible. And that's 2 of our last 3 games. And teams, to me, are just going to keep doing that coming out of bye until we can trust to get these one-on-ones.
I've got a question for everyone. I keep seeing in the chat, Thibodeau or trade back. Now, for me, taking an edge player does not make this team any better in the short term. We don't get better day one for me taking Thibodeau. I take the trade back because you can get the likes of Karlaftis and Hutchinson later on. I'll take any capital we can get as we're 2-3 years worth of competing. But what do you guys do? Are you taking Thibodeau? Are you trading back? Anyone else you like?
I'm doing tradable. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get out of that first pick up some more draft picks. I love Kyle Hamilton. If I'm going to go defense, man, I think that dude's a monster. I would love to have that guy that just hits you in the face like we had with Quandre Diggs, but bigger and better. I think if we can trade back and maybe pick up another first-round pick, that'd be ridiculously good.
I like Thibodeau. I think Thibodeau is going to be a generational player. I take him at 1. And one question for the panel: when's the last time we've traded back when we've had a top 5 pick?
Is this an actual question or a rhetorical? Oh, okay, never. Yeah.
I was going to say, that's like Hollywood Squares again. Like
I can't remember.
That was open. No one wanted to jump in on that one.
I don't know that one. That's a good question. I don't think we have since I've been alive.
Yeah, it's just when we look at it. So when you look at the draft pick, I mean, what position or positions do you think we should be looking at? I mean, realistically, that's going to make the biggest impact right now for this team. I mean, there's a lot of needs.
For me, Thibodeau takes over Flowers' position when we get rid of him.
Right.
So he is so much better as an edge rusher than what we have right now, and we need pressure on the quarterback. We really do to help that young secondary. I think he comes in and he contributes immediately. I think he's going to be a very good, if not great, NFL player. I think we need to take him.
I think we need to draft every position in this year's draft. The need is everywhere. King,
straight up.
Who you got, man? Who you got?
Imagine if you could just pay and just no matter how much money you want, you just as long as you could buy extra picks, but it costs you a premium.
I'm with you, Mike.
I like that.
I like that.
I mean, it kind of our draft's going to depend on how we hit the free agency. Now, if we come out here and strike gold on getting a top tier receiver, then
we need to redraft. Can we redraft some guys?
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Can we redraft this guy? Can we get him again?
Yes.
Huh.
King. I love that.
We need a lot of help. It's simple. And it's going to start in free agency, and then we're going to carry it over to the draft. We have a lot of holes. A lot. But I'm not against the Thibodeau pick with the number one, just because I think he's going to instantly create some pressure for our defense. But at that point, I think we need to go and get rid of Trey Flowers. This is his last year in Detroit. We need to figure out a way to move him back to New England somehow.
Yeah.
What? I mean, let's be real. It's for a third or a fourth. You know, New England will take him back in a heartbeat.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, they'll take him back.
Oh, yeah. They got a buyback. They got a buyback program over in New England.
Yeah.
Something
We should have insurance, man.
Yeah, they have a jersey insurance program. Jersey insurance. They'll take him back and give him his old number back.
You already know.
We're throwing some Fagos and some better made chips. You know what I'm saying? We'll sweeten the pot up or something. You know what I'm saying? Throwing a couple Coney dogs or something. We got to make it. Sweeten up the deal a little bit.
All right, but here it is. I'm gonna go individual. I'm gonna ask you each individually, and just
I'll even throw in. I'll throw in another token.
This will be real pointed. I want you, except quarterback, the position that you feel truly that if they pick or select or upgrade next year is going to be the biggest impact for this team. I want you to give me that. I'm gonna start with you, Ryan.
Number 5 and Kyle Hamilton, because we don't have anything on the back end. We need turnovers, and he generates turnovers.
All right, Jim.
I'm going to go safety as well. I think we need to shore up that back end. I love Kyle Hamilton, and I'm in agreement with him, but I still think that Thibodeau's a generational player. I go for best player available because we really don't have much.
What you got, Rod? Brad, sorry.
I'm going. You good? I'm going wide receiver. I don't really like drafting wide receivers in that top 10 pick, not unless you just like a Calvin Johnson or something. I really want to give Devontae Adams the Brinks truck. Let's back it up for him and pay that man what he needs to get paid. Just because I think getting us a true number one receiver where defenses have to back up and respect our passing game somewhat, that's just going to instantly help the offense. We got to score points. So I think receiver is going to be the position I think we truly, truly need, receiver. If our protection pans out, we getting Decker back. If they start protecting Goff like they supposed to, because they was the selling point of our team going into this season, then yeah, I want a true number one dog on the outside because we got a bunch of slots.
We need safety for sure, but since everyone picked that, I'm going to go wide receiver Drake London. I want a werewolf, and I feel that 6'4" wide receiver, he would help out the quarterback position. I want to see what we haven't seen in when it comes to Kenny Galladay jumping up contested footballs, throwing the ball past 10 yards. It'd be something I would love for my eyes to see. And I think Drake London could do that for us.
Heard that.
What you got for me, Joe?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know a dang thing about this year's draft, man. I can't help it. It's always just hold up. We got 9 games left. We could just win them all. You never know. But now I stay away from the draft until the offseason hits. I can't get into the draft yet. But I will say this: if I've learned one thing from this season, is this: pressure makes everybody look bad. Oh my goodness, man! You get after a guy with 4 players consistently, where you don't have to dial up heat. Things get ugly fast. I'm watching Stafford on Sunday Football, and I'm like, dang, they're killing that front 5. And it's just like, we're like, man, he looks like Goff. Yeah. So give me some pressure.
Okay. What you got, King?
I think he's frozen.
I'll take it for now while we're waiting on him. You know what? I'm with Dose. Very specifically, I don't look at the draft until
I'm gonna say that I've been preaching the trenches for about the last few years on the offensive side of the ball.
Nah, he's frozen. His connection's probably a little.
I think he's saying
up.
the game starts in the trenches. If you can control the line of scrimmage, you got a good chance of winning some football games.
Yep, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. That's it, baby. It start with the fat daddies.
Hey, I want to make sure I cheat on your test. I want to make sure I cheat on your test. I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's exactly what that was right there. Just look at me, just at the lefty. There it is.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the draft this year, for me, I'm looking cornerback. Very specifically, I don't think Jeff Okudah should stick as a cornerback for the Lions. I look at bouncing him back and playing safety. I don't want him back as a cornerback. What we've seen, it hasn't been good. It's not enough. And so that secondary is so important. I like what we're seeing out of Oruwariye. So I would go corner at this moment. But again, I don't know who's in the draft. I haven't done my research yet, but that's where my eyes are looking.
With you moving Okudah to safety. My bad.
I'm looking at maybe a tweener guy. I like a Viper. He's a big safety or a guy who can play a small linebacker. I like those guys. That position is becoming very well used in the NFL. You're looking at guys, you're looking like Isaiah Simmons, who can get out and cover in space, and he can definitely go up and thump in the run game. So I like a guy like that. That tweener, that the Viper position, like I said, is the big safety or the small linebacker. I like those type of players for our defense.
On my side, when I look at this team, and depends on who they decide to keep, will determine exactly where I think they should go. If they stick with the offense as it is and Goff is there, they got to upgrade the receiver position at some point. If you're going to have any way, I don't know if it's a free agency or the draft, if there's a home run hitter there, you got to pick somebody that teams will fear that can come in and make an impact, even if it's a young player. However, if they are able to figure that out somehow miraculously between now and the draft, definitely I think defensive line. I agree with you, Dose. It's the pressure that they get up front. Many of you have said, you know what, if you go down and you get some defensive pressure, I think Coach Glenn and those guys have done a really good job of dialing in their corners a little bit. I mean, they're giving up some plays here and there still in space, but all in all, I think we've seen considerable improvement in that unit the more and more we see them play in time. So I have confidence they can continue to upgrade that piece just by development. But if you can get more pressure and you can do it with less people, that's going to help out that secondary a lot. And that's how you can impact it with just one player on that side of the ball.
H-Man, hey, I like that point. I'm looking at the Rams, and they going trading for Von Miller. They got the youngest secondary. They got Robert Rochelle out there. Leon, who's 155 pounds, guarding a dude that's 100 pounds bigger than him. But they just get all them pass rushers. They say down on, okay, now let's add Von Miller to that mix. Let's pair him with Leonard Floyd. And it's like, dang, I mean, they should be able to cover for 2.5 seconds because that's scary. I mean, that quarterback, he ain't going to want to hold on to the football back there. He can be throwing some bad passes, and they'll be making some big plays, and that PFF grade will start going up for those secondary guys.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, I would like to say this. I've had an opportunity to speak to a panel before, and I don't mind speaking to players, and we all have our perspective, but I'll tell you what, the way my mentality has changed as a former player, and I say that as a former player because there's always been two sides of it. And I will say this real quick about Lions Nation and about this panel. just getting and being able to chat, to just chime in on most of your channels and educate myself and get some good talking points and perspectives as it relates to what I think about the game has helped me even look at the game in a whole different way. That's driven me to have a different point of view, and then also to drive and go inward in who I am and what I was as a player, to be able to have, like I said, a whole different enjoyment factor. And I know Rod and I, we talked about this, and Rad and I, we talked about this, and this is something that when you have the ability to see it on a whole different lens, I think it brings the conversation a little bit more together. So I want to say thanks to really all of you for joining and coming on the panel tonight, and for all of you that joined and gave your perspective and put in some of your points. We'll definitely get to more questions as we do this in the future, but definitely continue to go in. Make sure before you leave you like this channel, like what we're doing here at Lions Nation. And hey, King, we want to welcome you back to the show. We already gave out $1 million to everybody on the panel, but I'm sorry, man, that we missed you.
But I was having some technical difficulties.
No, it's all good, man. And we were just talking, man, just really about, I really appreciate everyone coming here and getting in and being a part of this panel. We look to continue. This is a starting point for us. We'll talk, we'll chop it up in the background. I'll be speaking with many of you, and we figure out how do we enhance this experience for those that are listening? How do we enhance this across our channels? But it's wonderful to see all of you have your own thing, but to be able to bring that to this table, and it's not about ego. It's not about anything other than we're here to talk and chop it up, talk a little bit about Lions, share some of our thoughts and our information. And this has been wonderful. And I do want to, basically, again, thank everybody who came in to join us, and any pointers that you may have, please feel free to submit those for us and to us. And if any of you have any comments to give back to us as to things we can do, and I'd love to figure out a way we can turn this into a game panel too, because this would be an awesome piece to have us quiz, whether we know the answers or not, by those that are in and that are giving us the questions, and then they can actually call us out or target one of us. And whether we know it or not, it'd be interesting to see just how we answer those questions. So I just encourage us again, how do we turn this into something that's pretty fun, pretty interactive for all of us, that we can have participation on this channel. And with that being said, be respectful of everyone's time. I want to then just go back around the horn one more time. And we'll start with you, Ryan. Any last closing remarks you like to say? Feel free to say that. And also, again, let people know who you are, where to find you. And then I'll take us out at the end.
I just want to say I appreciate you inviting us guys on. Like it means a lot to over here in the UK, because we're small. There's not a lot of Lions fans over here in the UK, and we know some in Europe. So we're trying to just bring those together. So platforms like this, you recognizing us, we recognize you all interacting. Like, it's great for us, and we really appreciate it. We can be found on YouTube, Twitter. I believe there's a TikTok, Instagram, Roar of the Lions UK. There's a Facebook group, Detroit Lions UK Worldwide One Pride. Everyone's in there. We meet from all around the world. We have podcasts on a Monday and a Thursday. We do previews, we do reviews, and we've even started our own college show on a Wednesday just to tie that all in nicely. We're running all the way through the year, and it's just, we're loving it. We've been going a while now, and we're just slowly getting there. So I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, I'm humbled to be here, to be honest. I got people in this panel that I look up to. They're good people, and they know their football. And this is what a resource for the people that are in the panel, or for the people in the chat, and people that are going to see this video. It's gonna be amazing. I hope we keep doing this. We're Detroit Lions on the Prowl. You can catch us on every channel. I'm not concerned about that as much as I'm concerned about the people and how good this actually is for the football community, for our Detroit Lions. I just love it. Thank you, Herman, for putting this together. Appreciate it.
Straight up, I'm gonna piggyback off Jim. Like, H-Man, appreciate the invite. I love this. I feel like we should start doing this at least once a month, maybe even more. This was fun. There's a lot of great people on this channel. You can catch me at Last Second Sports on Saturdays and Mondays, and I do a show, Last Second Dose, with young Simba down there, Dose of Dion 2.0, every Monday and Thursday. Y'all can catch us going live. But yeah, it's much love. Go Lions. I'm shooting for that 1-16, baby.
If you like live shows, come on down on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Great show. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, sponsored by Chat Sports and Everything King, making me wear pants on instead of underwear. So it's going to be a great time. If you enjoy sticking your hand into a fan, then you'll enjoy my channel, because it's all about Detroit Lions news, and we have fun embracing the suck.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, first of all,
I love you, Mike.
thank you for the opportunity once again to bring us all on, man. First of all, I just want to give a big thank you to you guys for your service and what you've done for this country. I didn't get a chance to do that earlier. I'm all for it. If we can get this thing together and do something special, man, for the game, I'm down for it, man. Just let me know if any one of you guys want to team up. Just hit me up, man. I'm available any time of the day. Just let me know, man. I'm looking forward to doing some more things with you guys. This was a blast tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, when I hopped in, this panel is nuts, and I'm down with the trivia as long as me and Jim aren't on the same team. You don't want to have, but man, this is great. I met most of you in person, which is pretty wild to think of. I'll meet all of you at some point, I'm pretty sure. But no, I appreciate you guys having me on and the welcoming arms, even though I came in late. This is great. I love seeing all these people together. This is wild.
Yeah, Herman, thank you so much, man, for this. This is unbelievable. Looking at this group of guys, I watch all your videos. I mean, it's what I do. I love this team. I love everything about the Lions, and so yeah, that's who I am, Jay from Let's Talk Lions, and would love to have each one of you guys on my own show and be a part of yours. And Herman, you bringing us all together. I mean, you are our very own Gandalf. I'm just gonna say it.
Hey, Jay, we finally got to get a show together, bud.
Oh my goodness gracious! All right. First of all, I want to thank everyone for your support, and shout out to Herbert Moore, your grandfather. I know he served as well in the military. And shout out to Mike. It's all my fellow veterans out there. The Salute to Service program is a program started by the NFL back in 2011, and all the proceeds from all the gear. If you see me, that's what I'm doing on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. I'm wearing Salute to Service gear every show for the rest of the month, and all the proceeds for those, the NFL doesn't profit from those sales. All those proceeds go to programs like Wounded Warrior, USO, the Pat Tillman Foundation, and TAPS. So all those sales from those things go to help those veteran organizations, and we really appreciate that. Being a disabled veteran myself, like I said, serving 26 years in the military, all this stuff is near and dear to my heart. And shout out to my fellow veterans, and thank you all. Veterans Day is on Thursday, so thank a veteran, shake a hand, male, female, it doesn't matter, because we're all veterans and we all took an oath to serve this country the best way we knew how. And thanks again for the panel. I love being here. Thank you, Herman, for your support, and for giving us a hangout. I call it the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans over at Lions Nation Unite.
It's an absolute pleasure. And again, I appreciate you letting everyone know again about Veterans Day on Thursday. And for those of you, just to continue to remember those who served, I would really appreciate it. And again, once again, thank you all for coming on. Continue to come out and like this channel for those of you who chimed in. And we'll do this again. We'll chop it up again next time, and we'll bring in, have a little bit more interactivity, and then just look for us to continue to reach out and do a lot of things in a philanthropic way, and to really reach out to our community. So I'll need your help whenever we're doing that. We're going to make sure during this holiday time that we bless some people that aren't as fortunate. So keep that in mind for all of those of you that are on here as we go forward. So again, thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this panel, and I look forward to catching you all next time. And keep your clothes on.
King, you need to stop that, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys.